All right. Hello, everyone. We're back with a new webinar today, and it's a pretty special one because we're launching our latest feature, Engage. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Shambhav, and I'm the product marketer at Helpwise. And joining me today, as usual, is Prabhat Mishra, who is the product manager at Helpwise. So the reason for today's webinar is pretty special because most of you know who have been with us that we're pretty open to suggestions and customizations that our users ask for, and there's a reason behind it. It's because we want Helpwise to become a complete solution for all kinds of business communications, be it internal, inbound, or outbound. And I mean, ask yourself, wouldn't it be better to simply use one platform to handle all your communications, from customer support to internal team collaboration to emails and social media conversations? And with Helpwise, we plan to tackle all these aspects and the release of our latest feature, Engage, is just a step in that direction. Well, this means we want you guys to send in your future requests, suggestions, ideas, and we'll try to incorporate each of those into our platform. Of course, if it aligns with our business goals. All right, let's go ahead with the agenda for today's webinar. First, we'll begin with what Engage is. Then it'll be followed by a demo of the feature and the various small features hidden inside Engage. Then we'll share some disadvantages of not using a feature like Engage. And then finally, how Engage can improve, customer retention rate. And we'll finally end the webinar with a short Q&A session at the end. So if you have any questions about Helpwise or any of its features, you can leave those questions in the Q&A box down below the video, and we'll circle back to those at the end. And the last thing, we'll send out a replay not long after we finished recording it. So just in case you have to step out or if you've missed anything, don't worry, you can hold on to this webinar and watch it as many times as you want. All right, let's get started. To understand what Engage is, first of all, we need to understand what a live chat widget is and how it works. I suppose all of us once in their lifetime have had a conversation with the customer support of a company via the live chat widget present on their website. And most people are familiar with what they are, but for those of you who don't know what they are, let me give you a brief explanation. Let's say there's an insurance company and they have the typical boring website that is filled with insurance related jargon, and that most of us either find too complicated to understand, or we're just too lazy to read through everything to understand each and every bit of information about a certain insurance policy. And this can lead to a low conversion rate. Now insurance companies do realize this, but they're still unable to change their website to make it more user friendly. Now, that could be because of the legal nature of the policies or the information that they need to, you know, uh, display on the website, or they might just be lazy like all human beings. So, what do you do in this case? How do you fix this problem of low conversion rates or high bounce rates? One way to fix this is by actively changing the language on the website to, make it as simple and user friendly as possible. And so you could do that, but is that actually the root cause of the problem? Because think about it. If someone is in desperate need of something, he or she won't really think too much about the language so much. They could just Google the meaning of a certain term, and at least that's what I do. And after they're done Googling, they would just, go through the website properly and purchase the insurance they know that they want. So you see, insurance jargon or language isn't really the problem. Well, now you'll ask me if difficult language or jargon or user friendliness is not the problem, then what is? Well, it's the human element. We as humans are very lazy, and we're wired to find shortcuts or ways that will help us solve our problems with as little work as possible. And most of the times, it honestly means depending on someone else or asking someone for help. So, how do we tackle something like consumer laziness that's not really in our control? You have to give them a personal genie. That's right. We don't call them customer support. We call them genies because they're the ones responsible for actively listening to the customers, solving a customer's problems, or making their wishes come true in some cases. Yeah, that has happened. Don't believe me? Just go check our G2 reviews. uh, as you can see on my screen, this is one of the reviews by one of our dear customers. And if you visit our G2 review page, you'll be able to see all of the good and kind reviews that our customers have left us. Okay, so Now, how does this personal genie solve the problem of low conversion rates? All the insurance company needs to do is just set up a chat support system or a live chat widget on their website, which the customer support executives can use to respond to customers that send in their queries via the chat widget. And the chat, of course, happens in real time, so the customer won't really have to wait for ages for a response to come in via the email, or they don't have to worry about calling the customer support. And a chat is the most convenient and impersonal way of having a conversation, without feeling shy or awkward while talking to someone you don't know. And not to forget that you can share screenshots as well in the chat widget, which you of course won't be able to do if you were on a call. So that's how a chat widget works in a nutshell. Now let's talk about Engage and how it can help in starting a relationship with a customer. So at Helpwise, we hold weekly discussions as to how we can improve features, which will greatly increase the productivity of the general user, and while minimizing stress, of course. And in one of those meetings, I remember we discovered that one of the biggest problems a business owner faces is that they want multiple different features, and they have to go out looking for different solutions for that. This means having to subscribe to innumerable software plans just so you could have them as a part of your tech stack. But what if you could get all these features inside just one platform, be it Kanban boards, tasks, calendars, video calls, screen sharing, drip campaigns, you name it. We've planned on incorporating every feature that's going to help us achieve this goal of becoming a one-stop solution. And Engage is just one of those features that's going to propel us into that direction of becoming a one-stop solution. Now, let's see what the Engage feature is. Engage is a feature of the live chat widget of the live chat widget inbox that we offer on Helpwise, and it helps you push pop-up messages or outbound messages and emails to the visitors of your website, or even the users of your platform. And essentially, it allows you to engage with the leads and users, which help in increasing metrics like conversion rates or customer retention rates. And you can set certain parameters on the basis of which the automated sequence of chat messages will be shown to the visitor. As you can see on my screen, we can set the basic details, uh, like who the message is assigned to when the conversation comes in, and all those kinds of stuff. So Prabhat will talk more about this during the demo. Now let's take an example. Let's say you sell insurance via your website, and your website is fairly intuitive and detailed, but it's filled with insurance terms and jargon that the customer might not understand. Now, if your website doesn't have a chat widget altogether, they would just close your website and bounce to the next insurance website, which might have a simpler UI. And it's always good to keep the bounce rate at a minimum. So one way to decrease the bounce rate would be to add a live chat widget on your website. This will help you with your visitors get in touch with your customer support team quickly, and they don't have to worry about navigating your website to find answers to their queries. But there are two problems with this option. It's possible that the visitor might miss the live chat button since they're pretty small, and it's also possible that the customer support has to wait for the website visitor to send a message, and then only they can send a message in return. Another way to decrease this bounce rate even more is by using Engage. And Engage would automatically send a chat message to the website visitor based on the different conditions that you've set up. So, in the case of this insurance company, you could set up an Engage which would display a chat message saying something like, as you can see on my screen, "Hey there, do you have any questions regarding any insurance policies on a website? Or what kind of insurance are you looking for?" Uh, and just as the visitor lands on the website, this Engage would pop up, engaging them, and this is a great attention grabber as well. So Engage can also trigger custom messages for based on the content of different pages. Maybe like on the health insurance page, an Engage would get triggered, which would say, "Hey, I noticed you're going through our health insurance page. Do you have any questions regarding that?" And the best part is your customer support doesn't have to trigger these messages manually, nor do they need to wait for the customer to message on the live chat first. The Engage would automatically get triggered, irrespective of if the visitor has messaged or not on the live chat widget. All right, now enough talk. Let's see this feature in action. Prabhat will be showing us a demo of the feature and how you can set it up for your website. So over to you, Prabhat.
All right. So thank you, Shambhav. That was very informative on what the Engage feature will be providing and how helpful it would be in engaging the customers that are landing on a website. Right. So moving along, let me go ahead and switch my screen to the my Helpwise account. All right. So here I am in my Helpwise account, and I'll take you through how you can set up a engage campaign in Helpwise, and how it will help you set up an engage campaign for your website or for an email as well, right? So in order to create a campaign, you can go ahead and click on automation and select the engage feature that will be in your Helpwise account as well. Once you open this up, it will show you something like this. As you can see on my screen, I'm on my engage section, and here I'm seeing all the campaigns that I have created. Right, it is showing me whether the campaign is live or it is in a draft state or something like that. Right, so I can either go ahead and edit this one, or I can also create a new one from here. Right, so let me just open one of the campaign that I have created. Here, it is showing me different options to, setting up the campaign. First, here I'll enter the title of the campaign, which will help me determine what sort of campaign it is and what sort of message it is showing to the user, right? Then I have this option which is like send message by the name of. So what it does is it will use that name in the message to show to the visitors, so that you can basically use any of their team members name over here. You can select any one of them, and that name will show up over here. The next option is assign conversation to. So this one is to assign the conversation when the visitor on your website will reply to this message. So you can select any one of your team member over here as well, right? So currently it is set to Alice. So whenever a visitor comes in and see your message on the website, and they, click on this reply option to reply, it will, open up a conversation for Alice, and then Alice can, take that conversation forward, right? Next is the reply type. Reply type is basically how you want the user to engage, right? So they can, start typing their reply, or you can, ask for an email first and then, start a conversation, right? The next is to show message, whether one time or every time when a visitor lands on the page, right? So if you select one time, then whenever a new visitor comes on a particular page for the first time, then only this message will be shown. And if it arrives after that again, then it will not show up to them, right? But if you select it every time, then every time that visitor will see your message, right? The last option is to set a time delay, right? So this is very important because you don't want your customers to feel that you are showing some kind of automated message to them. So you can select this delay functionality, which will bring a natural feeling to this message, and they might think that okay, there's some agent sitting over there who is sending them a message right now, right? Then I'll go ahead to the advanced settings, right? So these settings helps you in adding more filters to this. You can add filters like where you want to show this message. So if you only want to show this engage message on any particular page, then you can have a filter set for that, and you can add the URL from here, right? So I can set one of my page URL right here. And I can also add time delay. So if I want to show to one or two different pages and I want different time delays, then I can also set a time delay for that. Otherwise, it will follow the usual time delay that you have set up over here, right? The next is the audience, right? So you can have your audience selected or filtered out based on whether you want to show it to your existing users or you want to show to your new leads that are coming in, and you can further filter it out based on whether email or when they first saw the page, or whenever they last saw the page, or any other parameter that comes on the URL, right? So it is very helpful in order to customize your message based on different filters and show different message to visitors coming from different sources, let's say, right? So yeah, so this is it. This is how simple it is to create an engage campaign. And once you have done setting up your settings, and once you have set all this up, and once you have added the content of your message over here, you can also format this out. You can also add images or something like that, add emoticons. So once you have done all of these things, you can just go ahead and use this. So currently it is live, so it is showing a pause button. But if you create a new one, it will show a live button. So you can click on this live button over here, and it will start the campaign for you, right? And based on the settings and everything, it will start showing up the message on your website. So for example, I have just now switched to one of my help center page, and we have also added a the chat widget over here. So yeah, so this is about the chat pop-up. Now moving along to the email pop-up. You can also create a email engage campaign as well, which will allow you to reach out to your customers over email, right? So you can click on create new, and again you'll get similar options. You can select your team members from behalf of whom you want to send your emails, and then you can also assign the conversation whenever a customer replies back. You can set the subject of the email from here, and then the content over here. Again, you have all the formatting options, and options to add images or links. And then you have this audience options as well, which allows you to send your set your campaign to go to whether leads or users. And then you can further filter it out based on different conditions of those users, right? uh, Once you have created this campaign and set it as live, the emails will start going out one by one, and it will end whenever it has been sent to all of your audience that you have selected over here, right? So yeah, so this is it, and this is how easy it is to create the engage. And once you create the engage, you can also track the performance of it. You can also see how many messages were sent and how many views it got, and you can basically track whether it is performing well for you or not, and then customize it further or create new engages accordingly, right? And I hope it will help a lot of our customers to start a conversation with their customers who are coming to their website. Or basically, let's say if you want to announce a new feature to your users, you can use this email engage feature as well to send the emails to them and inform them about your updates, right? So now I'll go back to my slides, and I'll ask Shambhav to take this ahead and see what of the talk about more about the disadvantages and advantages of using this feature. Right. So Shambhav, over to you.
All right. Thank you so much for that wonderful demo, Prabhat. I can certainly see how useful this feature is going to be for all website owners. And all right, let's talk about some of the disadvantages of not using Engage. So the first being not utilizing the power of automation. So of course, manually pushing messages sequences would be too much work for the customer reps, and Engage can automatically trigger these based on custom parameters that you've set up. So if you're not using Engage, you're losing out on automation. Then the next being the inability to send bulk messages. Now, with Engage, you can send personalized messages or emails to a lot of people in seconds. And not using Engage would certainly make this task, time taking. Then without Engage, you won't be able to, push help articles or FAQ articles. So that way, your customers won't get immediate answers to questions, and that the majority of visitors might have, when they visit your website. Then the final disadvantage being won't be able to hijack attention. So a lot of behavioral case studies and heat map analysis have shown that even a gentle nudge can warrant attention from the visitors. And without Engage, you won't be able to do that. So you'll have to stick with banners or images, and I'm pretty sure that they don't really work that well anymore due to ad blindness, of course. Now, moving on, how we'll talk about how Engage can improve customer retention rates. So, of course, they force a user to take action. So, be it closing a message or responding to the message, action will always be better than inaction. Then, Engage leads to a decreased bounce rate. So, as mentioned before, you'll be able to, engage your visitors, which can considerably decrease your bounce rate. And then the next being increased conversion rates. So numerous studies have shown that gentle website pop-ups help in increasing lead counts, which ultimately lead to increased conversion rates. Of course, that also depends on your ability to convert a lead, but it does ensure that you keep receiving an influx of leads regularly. Then the final improvement to the customer retention rate because of Engage being automation. So, of course, Engage sequences get triggered on the basis of parameters that you've set up on the backend. And this saves you a lot of time since half of the work is done by the power of automation, and it saves you a lot of time. And of course, it will increase productivity. So these were some of the reasons why you should use Engage for your website, and it can certainly do wonders for you and your business. Now, let's move on to the final part of the webinar, the Q&A session. All right. I see we have some questions from our users. So the first question is from Adam, who has asked, "Can I display help center article? Sorry, can I display help center articles using Engage?" Prabhat, can you answer that?
Yeah, that's an exciting question. So, the good thing is that we already have this thing in our pipeline. And in the V1, you will not get this feature, but in the coming days, you will get this option to add the link of your Help Center articles as well in your, the message.
Okay, perfect. I hope that answered your question, Adam. Now, the next question comes from Lily, who has asked, how do you know who is a user and who is a lead?
Oh, yeah. So the users are basically when you add a chat widget on the website, it allows you to pass certain metadata to the chat widget as well, which helps it identify whether it is a user of your website or whether it is a lead on your website, right? So if you have that set up correctly, then the users who sign up on your website and start using your application will be considered as the users, and then the users who are just visiting and browsing around, then they will consider as leads, right? So all of this data is collected by the chat widget, and it is used by the engage feature to send the message to different kind of customer base you have.
Perfect. Now we have another question from Everard. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. He's asked, can we have an unlimited amount of engaged chat titles? I'm not. I suppose.
Okay, I suppose he's talking about the engage campaign.
Yeah.
So yeah, so on a premium plan, we don't have any limitations on the number of engage that you create, right? So yeah, you can create a number of engages in your account and use it as much as you want.
Okay. Perfect. Then we have another question from an anonymous attendee who has asked, can I use UTM campaigns with Engage?
Absolutely. So while setting up the engage, you have this option to filter your audience based on the UTM parameters that you're getting on your URL, right? So you can have filter set up to collect the UTM campaign parameter, and then you can give it any keyword that you want to use for the filter, and then only those URLs which has this UTM parameter with that particular value will will show up that engage message.
I think we can show them a list of the parameters that we have. Uh,
Yeah, sure. So I'll just switch back. So if I go to this advanced settings option over here, I have this option to use this UTM parameters. So we have this UTM campaign, content, medium, source, etc. So these features, or I can also use a referral URL here as well. So you can select this, for example, or let me select the campaign. And if the campaign name is, for example, Google, let's say main or something like that, whatever. Uh, so you can, add filters like this. You can add more filter like these as well, right? And once you have set this up, the engage will get triggered after following these filters that you have set up.
Okay, perfect. I hope that answered your question. I think that's all the questions we have for today. So I think that wraps up the Q&A part of the webinar. And I think we've covered most of the features and the possibilities that Engage has to offer. Of course, we'll be coming out with many more intricate features for Engage in the future. So I hope you enjoyed the demo of this feature, and I look forward to seeing you guys use this extensively. So feel free to send us feedback or suggestions at help@helpwise.io, or message us using the live chat widget. And with this, we wrap up the webinar. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And I'd like to thank all our panelists and attendees for joining. And I hope to see you guys in the next webinar. Till then, have a good day, guys, and stay safe. Bye bye.